Am I in?
Yeah, you're in there. Dude,
Yo.
we have a crowd, huh? We have a crowd today.
There's so many
Yeah.
people here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you ran such a big operation.
No, I don't, bro. Just in the back. Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yo, I was talking to Sebi, about the Man U game,
Yeah.
and he likes Garnacho. He likes Garnacho.
Yeah,
so-
no, he's really good.
Yeah, they didn't start him though.
No, he's not great as a starter, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Off the bench, he's way better. And
Oh, you
Just-
agree? You agree?
next season
Yeah,
he'll be able to
yeah.
start, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
just think right now he makes an impact when
Yeah,
people are more tired and he uses his pace. So
yeah.
I like him for that.
Tough game though, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you
to be
watch it?
honest, I had soccer during it, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't actually watch the
Did
full
you watch the
game.
highlights?
I watched the highlights. I also tuned in for the whole second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, they gave up an early one, and everyone.
What was the
kinda,
first one though? I didn't see the highlights. I didn't
Gundogan hit like a volley early.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone was like, if Man U concedes early, like they're screwed. They're gonna
Yeah.
get battered, and
see. Yeah.
ended up being able to keep it pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the team's just far away overall, though. Like
Okay.
they need a lot of transfers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. New owners hopefully coming in soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, man. No, but welcome, man. Welcome.
Thanks, man.
Yo, I'm really nervous for this one. I'm nervous for this one, man. I can't
Yeah,
lie.
me too a little bit.
I was telling Zach, I'm like, bro, this is a big one. The
Yeah,
Dark Knight is
yeah.
a big one because, I don't know if you saw, but what
Are you
is it?
doing like the Batman month?
Not the Batman month. I normally have like special weeks at the end of the month, right? And I had a Batman week, right? So I watched the Dark Knight trilogy, and then I saw Batman versus Superman and the new Batman.
Yeah.
So I saw those two, and honestly, like this was the big one though, because I remember I was watching this and I was not taking notes like for the YouTube. I was taking notes for like the podcast.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like super paying attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's such a good movie that like you cannot not pay attention to it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it's not something that you can like put on in the
Yeah.
background. And like, I mean, to be honest, like I love that trilogy so much. Like,
Yeah.
To be completely honest, like
Yeah.
not a huge fan of Batman Begins, but like it needed to happen.
I know. Yeah.
You
yeah.
like have to set up the full trilogy, so
Yeah.
like, for that it's great. But yeah, like I love the trilogy so much that like I heard Batman vs Superman was like not very good. Like,
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't even
Yeah?
watch it, and like same thing with like
The
the
new
new
one?
Batman.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a little bit too attached to the old one.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like Christian Bale as Batman. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of how I see it. So like,
Well,
I'm sure
everyone's
I'll
always
watch
gonna
it.
compare it to that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll watch it eventually. But like, I was even thinking on the way over here about like how they filmed like the Joker like movie,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was just thinking about like how much better that movie would have been if like Heath Ledger was able to
Okay.
have done
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Like I just think he would have done such a good job like he did in The
Yeah.
Dark Knight, and like I think he doesn't carry it because it's such a great movie, but obviously like his performance in that movie is just
I
so
think he does.
special.
I think it does though. Like
it definitely
Yeah.
makes it even better than it already is. But I think
Mhm.
like the whole story is just so good, and
yeah.
it's just everything about the movie. It was just a well constructed movie.
So, The Dark Knight came out like 2008. right?
Yeah, it was
Bro, this
a long time ago. Like
isn't that's just like the same year as like Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah. So when did you see this? When did you see this one for like, the first time?
I actually don't know if I could say exactly when I saw it.
Yeah.
I would think like, in 2008 I was 7. I probably watched
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
the first time like when I was probably like 11 or 12,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
since then I've probably watched it like once or twice a year. That might even be low
Yeah,
some
yeah.
years. Like I watch it pretty frequently. Like I would say that and Spider-Man are like my two for like superhero movies that
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
go to.
Even the new ones? You like the new ones? The new Spider-Man?
Yeah, I like the new ones. I have like an unpopular opinion, and like Andrew Garfield's actually my favorite Spider-Man.
I think that's everyone's. Everyone keeps saying like it's unpopular opinion.
I don't know.
But everybody
I feel like,
prefers it.
I feel like since Tom Holland has like started doing it, people just
Yeah.
like the aspect of like he gives off like the kid vibe, and like
Yeah.
he's a bit dorky. Like a lot of people are like Andrew Garfield was too cool because Peter Parker's supposed to be like a nerd.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
But
yeah, yeah.
I do think just like out of like the whole like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and then Tom
Yeah.
Holland, like I think Andrew Garfield plays it really well, but also him and like
It
Emma
was just
Stone's
better though. Yeah.
relationship is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
better than like Mary Jane and Tobey Maguire, and
Yeah.
like Mary Jane and Tom Holland. So
I think
it's
the
just
thing though
good.
with like the new ones though, I think the why people like don't rate it as much and people like Andrew Garfield better
Mhm.
is that like it's set in a universe, you know?
Yeah.
We know like a lot of stuff that happened to Spider-Man
Yeah.
could be helped by the Avengers, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But like there's actually like a lone vibe with like the older ones, you know?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, you know?
Yeah,
Like
for
they're on their
sure.
own, you know?
Yeah,
They're the only
exactly.
superheroes, you
I
know?
kind of like that better. It's more of like a Spider-Man movie where I feel like the newer ones,
Yeah.
like a lot of them have a lot to do with like Iron Man and stuff, which is cool. But like,
Yeah.
there's less of that lone vibe, like you said.
Yeah, someone said it good. They said like the new Spider-Man movies are like they made like 3 movies for an origin story. You know?
Yeah, it does. It also like I don't know. I think the storyline to the new ones is like not as good either, and like
Yeah.
just like the movie. I don't know. I think like obviously with a superhero movie, like storyline is super important.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think just like the Andrew Garfield ones had like the best story.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire was also very good.
You know what? The second Andrew Garfield one, I don't really remember that much.
It's like with Electro and
Yeah, but I don't remember like
Yeah.
much of what happens.
Mhm.
I just know like, you know, Emma Stone dies.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all that, but honestly, like I don't remember much.
Yeah.
With these new ones though, it's like more like I know it because of what it means like MCU wise.
Yeah, yeah.
But not anymore really. Like
Yeah.
honestly, they had such a like I think the first Tom Holland movie was like it was like a decent movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And then the second one was like it was fine, you know?
Yeah.
But it was MCU. That's why people like were like, "Oh, it's fine," right?
Yeah, yeah.
But the third one, you just like it's a nostalgia tax, you know? Like you bring
Yeah.
back the old guys, you know?
Yeah.
People are gonna rate it as much, you know?
Yeah, it's also like a weird vibe with the new ones. Like
Yeah.
in the second one, like I think the first one was like by far the best one
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of
yeah.
like just like the Tom Holland fact. But like
Mhm.
obviously the new one, like you said, it's very nostalgic and stuff. So I think
Yeah.
that's why it gets a lot of hype.
Like, did you
but-
see it twice? I didn't see it
Yeah,
twice.
I've
like,
seen it twice.
Yeah?
Yeah,
but it
I
didn't
like
hit
it.
the same. Like the first time watching it and being like, "Oh shit, he did pull up." You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
that moment, I was like, "Okay," but you see, like in the second viewing, like it doesn't hit as much because you know it's gonna happen again. You know?
Yeah, it's also like it's kind of a goofy movie almost.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just like not a big fan of it for that reason. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Spider-Man's like overall a pretty good series, and
Yeah.
I don't know the new ones. Like I also in the last one, like because of how the second one ends, like people hate Spider-Man, and like
Yeah.
I feel like in Andrew Garfield, like everyone. Like towards the end of the first movie, like the entire city's like behind him.
Yeah,
and he, like,
yeah.
Works with like the police and like the fire
That
department.
scene
and
with
stuff.
what's it called when he like webs the cars on
Yeah.
the bridge.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was like one of the best scenes I've ever seen like in a long time. You know, in a superhero movie. You
I
know?
also really like in that one how towards the end, like when he's going to get like Dr. Connors, he
Yeah.
like he gets hurt, like one of the cops shoots him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the like construction
Yeah,
crew, like,
yeah.
moves all the cranes. So
It's
he has,
very
like, a clear
dramatic, like,
swing
yeah.
path. Yeah, it's just like cool to see.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How
yeah.
it started, like he was a vigilante, and now they're all like trying to help him get there.
Yeah, because you know he's like their only hope. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But going back to this though, I mean, I'm starting off with a big question, right?
All right.
What?
I've been scrolling and I just got a Dark Knight like.
Dude, it's listening to you.
Yeah. That's just how phones work now.
Not only like am I gonna ask if this is like the best superhero movie, right?
Yeah.
But is it like Chris Nolan's best movie? You know?
I think so. I honestly like it's my favorite movie
Yeah.
like ever, and obviously, you know, there's a lot of movies that
Yeah.
that are very highly regarded that I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen, but just like out of what I've seen, I think just like the acting in it, the special effects, the whole storyline, like I think it's so good.
Yeah.
And it, even though it was such a great movie, it also like allowed for the third one to still have like a lot of potential.
Yeah,
And
something
I
to
think
happen, yeah.
I think like even though The Dark Knight is so clearly the best one in the trilogy,
Yeah.
it allowed The Dark Knight Rises to still be like a very good movie.
Yeah,
And
but
so-
it's like what we learn in like English or like French class, like, you know, like literature, like you start off with something like it's like
Yeah,
a roller
yeah.
coaster, you know, and then that's your peak, and then you
Mhm,
slowly like
for
end
sure.
the story, right? And I think that's like the same thing with the trilogy, you know, like it really peaked at The Dark Knight, you know.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Yeah, yeah. But honestly, when I say like if it's one of Chris Nolan's best movie, I just don't know yet, you know.
Yeah,
I don't. With Oppenheimer coming out, I mean that might be gas.
Yeah. I think like Christopher Nolan's obviously just like a great
Yeah.
director in general.
Yeah, for sure.
So like it's pretty hard to say like if
Yeah.
The Dark Knight's his best one.
Yeah.
Because obviously like it being a superhero movie, that's like a whole fan group that like
Yeah,
is
yeah.
naturally gonna gravitate to it. But like I don't know, I just think like I'm not like a crazy superhero fan,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
like I watch a lot of them, and just The Dark Knight is like so good, and like
Yeah.
I think it is the best superhero movie that I've seen, and like that anyone really talks about, because for the most
Yeah.
part you don't see superhero movies get like compared with like the best movies of all time, and I
That's
feel like
true,
The
yeah.
Dark Knight gets a
Yeah.
lot of shouts for being one of the best of all time, and I think that
Yeah.
just says something about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like with this one, because I was watching all these Batman movies, right? With this one, I thought like it really felt like the most suspenseful movie I'd
Yeah.
seen in a long time. You know, like I don't know, every 10 minutes there was like, you know, there was something
Yeah.
new happening.
Yeah, there's
you
no
know?
dead time in that
There's a
movie.
new problem. Yeah, there's a new problem every time, and there's urgency to it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just at the end of the movie when he's like riding off, right?
Yeah.
I really thought like, oh, there's probably like more. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It feels like an end, but it doesn't. You know.
Yeah, it's a
It's
very
still going.
unpredictable movie. Like first time
Yeah.
you see it, like you're not gonna expect what happens, and like
Yeah.
it's- just makes for a really good watch, because you can't just like you can't go on your phone. You can't just like turn away from the screen. There's really no dead time where like there's nothing going on, or there's not a big detail being talked about. Like
Yeah.
I think in
yeah.
general it's just like very, you got to be glued to the TV if it's your first time, and even later on you're just so into it that like I've seen it probably 100 times now, and
Yeah.
I'm still into it every time. Like it's a
Hmm.
movie I constantly
No, yeah, of
think
course,
about
yeah.
watching. Yeah.
But why is it your favorite though? Like, is there a reason to it or?
I'm definitely gonna say like as a kid and like growing up, I've always like gravitated to like the villain in a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
not that
No,
I'm
yeah, I
like
get
not
you.
cheering for Batman or
Yeah.
anything, but just like I find villain are like very interesting characters, and
Yeah.
like a lot of like story involves them. Like
Mhm.
even like with Star Wars, for example, like I always was team Anakin for like the whole way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think because of just the way I am like that, like Heath Ledger's performance
Mhm.
made it really special, and like that's
Yeah.
probably a big reason. But I also just think like the action, and like you said, just how it's like a constant go, and like there's not really much of like a side story to like Bruce Wayne. It's just like
Yeah.
a lot of Batman focus, and like the Joker creates so much chaos that like
Yeah.
there's always something going on. There's always a problem. Like you like the one scene that comes to mind like that shows there's always a problem is that scene where Bruce Wayne's hosting the party for Harvey Dent,
Mhm.
and you just think, oh, it's just gonna be like a casual party, and then like halfway through Bruce Wayne's just like, they're here, and he like knocks out Harvey Dent and like locks him in the closet and like gets the Batman
Yeah, he catches you by
suit. Like,
surprise. You know?
it's
yeah.
like a scene where you think, oh, it's just gonna be downtime. Like in The Dark Knight Rises, there's a few
Mhm.
scenes like that where there's like downtime, but like in The Dark Knight, even when you're like, oh, it's just a casual scene, like something crazy.
Yeah, because it's not the villains who started that scene, you know?
Yeah.
It's him. He just knocks out Harvey, and it's like, you know, straight into it, you know?
Yeah.
Like he knows before they arrive in the shot, you know?
Yeah.
It's someone else's. Harvey. Just tell me it's not Wayne. The guy's a complete...
What are you doing?
Come for it. We made it. Stay in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think the elevator opens, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and that's it,
tonight's entertainment has
Yeah.
arrived, and, like, no.
You could do a better Joker impression than that, but
No, I can't do it. I can't hurt the podcast.
why so serious?
It's the second time he did that in the other episode, but the mic didn't catch it, remember? Like,
Yeah, you know, it was okay. I'd give that, like, a 6 out of 10. Like,
Yeah.
the serious was pretty good. But, yeah, man, it's just, like, such a good movie, and, like, I know that's such a generic way of describing it, but, like, it really is just something that, like, it's so exciting, and I think, like, yes, a lot of, like, slower movies can be, like, very entertaining and very interesting,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, there's a lot of meaning behind those types of movies, but I think with this one, it's just, like, so action-packed and so exciting and chaotic that, like, I just love it for those reasons.
No, yeah, of course. Look, I'm gonna get this fact out of the way. Like, I do fun facts, but this one is like, it's pretty wild because I didn't notice it until like I saw this online. But it said that in each of the like movies in that trilogy, right in the early minutes, the main villain pretends to be their henchman. So and then eventually like, uncovers himself, right?
Now that I think about it, you know, there's like the classic scene at the beginning in the Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises, like the the plane scene, So no, I didn't realize that, but now that you mention it, that's a good fact.
But I know we were talking about it before we started filming, but the favorite scene, right? And speaking of those early minutes, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Because and you didn't really like. Tell me
like it's so hard because, like I said, I just love the entire movie, and like, it is probably one of the few movies that like I'm constantly watching, and like I don't know. I think the first scene is just such a good opening scene, and like how many movies start off with just like a bang right away?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good, and just like the way it works, the way the Joker gets introduced, and the whole scene, it's like action packed, and you kind of see that like he doesn't really have a team. Like he's the mastermind, and he doesn't really even though he has his henchmen, like he runs the show. He doesn't like give any handouts. Like, but honestly, I think that scene's really good. The scene I brought up with the party and like them getting there. I also really like the scene where he like introduces himself to the mobsters, like in the basement. The meeting during the day is pretty cool.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone.
Watch this pen disappear.
That's awesome, and just like the way he like calls his shot basically, and is like, Batman will find you, and like points to the TV and like tells the Asian guy like, hey, like even
it doesn't matter
flying away right now, like he will find you and like make you squeal. Like it's really good. I think it has to be the first one, but all those scenes are great, and you know, like Heath Ledger was so good, and all of those scenes I mentioned,
He stole every scene, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like, also, another one that I like just for, like, the lines he uses is the scene where he, like, meets Harvey Dent in the hospital and pretends to be his nurse, and he's, like, talking about how he's, like, a dog chasing cars.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know what he'd do.
I replay that like 3 times. Like, just that scene, him in the hospital. Because he said a lot of important stuff in there. You know?
Super important.
Yeah.
What do you think of the part though? How he's like just wearing like the mask, like the COVID mask.
Yeah.
All the makeup and his hair's green, and Harvey
was
doesn't know who he
hilarious,
is.
bro. Yeah.
And then he takes off the nurse mask. And Harvey's like, "Oh, it's a Joker!" Like, no, like,
Yeah.
he definitely knew it was a Joker, bro.
No, that was funny though. That was funny.
Yeah.
Though. Like, the whole movie though, like, if that was their only mistake, I'll allow it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Everything else was so good. Yeah.
Also, like, I feel like you could find excuses for why he wouldn't know it was the Joker. Like, he's in a hospital, his face is half burnt. Like, who really knows, like, what he can and cannot see? But, like, yeah, I do agree, like, from, like, the viewer's perspective, like, it does look really stupid.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, that's, like, a kind of, like, subtle comedic part about it. And I think, like, the movie has a few where it's, like, not, like, supposed to be, like, a comedy scene, but, like...
But Joker
there's,
is
like,
funny, you
subtle
know? The
lines,
Joker is funny,
like, the Joker. And even just, like, the scene at the... Like, early on where there's all the Batman with the gun.
Yeah.
And Batman's, like... wraps them all up, and he's like, "What's the difference between you and me?" And it's like, "I'm not wearing hockey pads."
Yeah.
Like,
Come on, that
it's
was
like pretty funny. Like, I don't know. I just thought like there's a few like good comedic aspects to the movie, and like maybe that was one. Maybe it wasn't intended to be one, but like, it definitely makes me laugh when I see it.
Yeah, of course. But speaking of the hospital, man. Like, apparently that building, that was just like a random building.
Yeah.
And it was about to be demolished anyways, right?
Yeah.
So they decided to, like, decorate it a bit, right?
Yeah.
To make it look like a hospital and then blow it up.
Yeah.
Right? So they actually blew up some random building.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I'm
not sure if it's true, but I want to say even the scene in The Dark Knight Rises with the football field, I want to say that
No, that's probably fake because there was a guy running onto it, right?
I know that, but I think like
in the end
they might have done something, but like I'm not sure. I heard rumors about it a long time
ago. But the plane one was like legit.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And I think this is why like Christopher Nolan, like his movies are on point. Like you even see like right now like the promotion of like Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah.
And they're like saying like, oh, he did like a nuke test, or like he set up a nuke, right? Which is insane to me because he does these like real like effects, right? That like really like bring you into the movie. You know what I mean?
Like, crazy scenes.
And I think that's what sucks about movies lately because with so much CGI, we're seeing so much. Like seeing like Jurassic World, right?
Yeah.
It's not shocking anymore to see a dinosaur, you know?
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
Like we've seen that before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when we see like an actual building getting blown up, a plane being cut off and then brought down, you know, in Tenet when he like crashes an actual jet.
Yeah.
Like everything is so absurd that you're so hooked into the movie.
Yeah, like he just doesn't have like limits to what he'll do. Yeah.
In my opinion, like I think he's like the best director of our generation.
Yeah.
And the generation before probably. Like he is so good. He is so good. I can't and you were talking about it too, like with the favorite scene, right?
Yeah.
Like with the intro. Honestly, I was gonna say the same thing, that intro sequence. Yeah. Because he hooks you in right away.
Yeah, right away.
Even in the first one, in Batman Begins, even in the third one.
Every single one starts with like a bang right away.
And that's the point of a movie. No matter what. I don't care, like sure, this is like suspenseful, right?
Yeah.
But no matter what movie you make, I think like the first 10 minutes, you should do something that like, even if it's like a comedy, something absurd that just has like the viewer like, what the fuck just happened? I'm gonna stick into it and watch what happens, right? And he does that so well with his movies.
And like the movies are long, but like because they're so action packed, they don't feel as long. And I think because he starts them all off with like such a like great opening scene.
Yeah.
That like you're just so into it. That's why they don't feel as long.
Yeah,
And you feel
yeah.
like you can watch them whenever because it's.
Did
just
you
like,
watch Tenet?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah?
really liked it.
That's what like. I mean, I wasn't a fan of it, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I could watch it multiple times.
Yeah.
Because it looks cool, you know.
It's just a cool
just looks
movie.
cool,
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say like the storyline was like awesome or like. The
Like, you
movie
don't have to
itself
understand
was that
it, yeah,
good, but
yeah.
I just like thought it was a really cool concept and like
Yeah.
like how he like can see it, not like see the future, but like or
Yeah,
he, like knows how to like
exactly, it's all
react in
distorted, yeah,
advance.
yeah.
Like it's pretty cool, like just a interesting concept, I guess.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, he's the pride in my opinion, man. Like, just all of like, also it's also the way he writes too, right?
Yeah.
I had this thing about like the ferry passengers, right?
Yeah.
Apparently he confirmed it in like 2018, which is why I think like for us we think it's a bit earlier. But he said that the ferry passengers, if they were to blow some the ferry up, right,
Yeah.
it would be their own ferry, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the whole thing,
Yeah.
which even makes the Joker even cooler, right? In
Yeah.
a way,
Yeah.
right? It's like we already saw it happen with when he like told Batman and the police like, oh, Rachel's at this place, Harvey's
Yeah.
at this place,
Yeah.
and then they're not, you know.
Yeah. No. He
I don't
like,
know.
loves.
He creates incredible like characters, man. you
Yeah.
know?
No. And
Yeah.
like with the Joker, like I think like his whole thing is just like he wants there to be chaos. So like
Yeah.
he like manipulates everyone so that like there can be the most chaos possible and stuff. And I
Yeah.
think like that makes it such an interesting story and such an interesting like
Yeah,
villain
yeah.
because there's always something happening and like
Mhm.
whatever he says, like you're not sure whether you should believe it or if it's like the
Yeah.
opposite or what's gonna happen really.
I don't know. There's something about like a better villain is so much like better than a better superhero.
Yeah. Well, I
In a
think
way,
like
you know?
because like the reason that is because like if you're watching a superhero movie, like you're
Yeah.
probably watching it for the superhero regardless.
Yeah.
So like the villain just elevates the movie, I think. Like
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
The Dark Knight's so good because like Batman's a very cool superhero and like I think Christian Bale plays him really well.
Yeah.
But like the villains in like I said, like not a huge fan of Batman Begins, but like Scarecrow pops out throughout the movie, like throughout the trilogy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like is still an interesting character. But like
Mhm.
both the Joker and Bane are just like really exciting villains that
Yeah.
make the movies better.
Yeah. Like even the Joker created another villain, you know, in
Yeah.
Harvey Dent in a way,
Yeah.
you know, which is incredible. Like, I was, it was the end, right?
Yeah.
When he's like talking about the fairies,
Yeah.
right? Even like, bro, in any other movie,
Yeah.
you know what? The fairies didn't blow up, right?
Yeah.
The villain is caught.
Yeah.
Boom, story is done, right?
Yeah.
But no, he has a backup to his like final plan,
Yeah.
which is like it never ends for him. And that what the fact that they didn't introduce much of the Joker, you know,
Yeah.
they just went straight into it,
Yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we just meet the guy, and he has his own thing, like
Yeah.
one at a time, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like at the end of the first movie, Commissioner Gordon, well, he's not a commissioner at the time, but
Yeah.
like he shows Batman the Joker card. I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah,
how it ends.
yeah.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's how it ends.
No, it is. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's like the only introduction to like, okay, like the Joker's gonna be in the next movie.
Yeah.
And then like right away we're just into it at like the bank robbery scene.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you don't even know that he's there, and then all of a sudden, like, he takes off the mask, and it's like, here
Yeah,
we go, it started,
yeah.
like, and yeah, there's no introduction, which, like, and I don't really think at all throughout the movie, or even, like, wondering, like, oh, how'd this guy, like, become like this? You're just, like, so curious about, like, what's gonna happen that it's just really exciting.
Yeah, I like you were saying, like, well, talking about like the villain aspects of like stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, you go into a movie for the superhero, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you go into it and you know, or we already know the superhero's morals and all that, right?
Yeah.
It's good to be tested, right?
Yeah.
Because in a way you're like, whoa, I'm low-key being brought to like to
Yeah.
that guy, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
it's trippy, you know? Like, oh, am I actually on Batman's side, you know? Because
Yeah.
like now like he's saying like real shit. Like,
Yeah.
like do I stick around, you know?
Yeah.
And I was gonna mention like why I thought Batman wasn't like too big of a character in this movie.
Yeah.
Right? And it is the villain aspect, right? Which this is weird, but I was gonna say that the Joker is like relatable in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you look at it, like Bruce Wayne, like this guy, he's a billionaire. You know, like everything, all his tech is funded by someone, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like you know, the fake Batmans in like that movie,
Yeah.
they're an example of like if we believe the same thing as Batman and then went out of our way to do it,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I know it seems like we would look stupid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the Joker would kind of encourage that, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a way, like he would
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
encourage to do that. Like, so I thought like in a way, like the Joker is someone relatable because you know what? Everybody has these morals, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? At any point,
Yeah.
it could break, you know?
No, yeah, it's so true. And like I think you're kind of right with Batman kind of almost being a secondary character in
Yeah,
the movie.
yeah.
Like I don't know, as much as like yes, it's called The Dark Knight, like he's the main character, it's like the Joker is so involved at all times that it's like he's almost the main character and like he's so interesting and like exciting that you do kind of gravitate to him.
Yeah.
And like you said, like Bruce Wayne, he's a billionaire. Like his tech's all funded by Wayne Enterprises, and like whenever he needs something, they just like go meet up.
Hook him up.
Like,
Yeah.
the like Wayne Enterprise,
Yeah.
and like he just gets exactly what he needs. Like in that movie, he needs like tech for like bigger dogs. So
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
he's like less injured by it, but
And just for dogs too.
yeah, no, just for dogs.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I just think that because he's so rich and it's almost things come easy to him because of that. Where like, yeah, if like I decided, okay, like I'm gonna be Batman for like the rest of my life, like yeah, I'd be wearing freaking like hockey shoulder pads and like a full black suit and just like basically waiting out on the streets and like I would need a gun to defend myself.
Exactly.
And, like,
Yeah.
I just think like it is a bit of like he's unrealistic because it's like the only person that can be Batman is someone who's really well off and like has the money to get all the tech because he doesn't have any superpowers. Like it's not like Superman or anything else. Like there's nothing special about Bruce Wayne. He dresses up as Batman and like
I think it's just like what he does, you know. Like Batman like has like a presence to him.
Yeah.
You know, other superheroes like their powers are that presence.
Yeah.
You know? But him, it's just like he's just there, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say about the villains though, like I was watching like The Boys. Do you watch The Boys?
No, I don't actually.
You don't watch The Boys?
I don't. I've heard.
You haven't put him on The Boys?
I've heard it's really.
Huh?
I've heard it's really good, but I just haven't watched it. I'll probably give it a chance eventually.
Bro, it is. You're gonna see. You're gonna
I've
be
heard
like,
it's unbelievable. Like everyone watches it.
If me and Mom would just go off about Ted Lasso right now, are you gonna be pissed?
just Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
it's done now, huh? Yeah.
It is, but like you're not up.
I haven't, but
and like it just finished, so like it's.
I have like
topic.
3 more episodes.
That's fucked. Okay.
Like, no, like I don't have Wi-Fi at home. Like right now, like it for some reason it's been shut off, right?
Okay.
And my mom is out of the country. She's the one with the account and all that.
Yeah.
So it's been like cut off for a bit, but, anyways, I was gonna say like you're gonna meet like this character Homelander if you do watch The Boys.
Yeah.
And it's not about like really who he is. It's just like what he does, you know?
Yeah.
So like you with the Joker, it's in a way it's like you see him in a scene, and it's not about like what are these people gonna do to the Joker. It's what's the Joker gonna do to these people, you know?
And like with like the whole mob, I think it's so funny because it's like, what does the Joker like really do to defend himself ever? Like, he's not a brawler. Like he's just like a mastermind of chaos that like he just knows.
Well, he doesn't care about anything.
He doesn't care what you do to him. Like that scene where like I think the like mobster's name's Gamble, I want to say. And
the black guy?
Yeah. And he's like threatening the Joker, and it's just like realistically, like if the guy like really tried, probably could beat the shit out of the Joker, but the Joker just plays mind games with you and like does the whole pencil thing. Here, I'm gonna stand up for a second. The bombs, and he like threatens it. And he's like, "Here's my card." It's just such a good scene. Like, there's so many good scenes.
Yeah.
He's also like a skinny guy.
Who is
the Joker?
Like,
He's not like you said, he's not a fighter at all.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a skinny guy, and like he could get the shit kicked out of him like easily by like most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you just waited for like in the Dark Knight especially.
He's also not a fighter too.
Yeah, you just waited for Batman to get to him. Like that's what you were waiting for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were waiting for somebody to get to him.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like, anyone could get to him, bro. But he was just like a total psychopath that like a mastermind psychopath that like knew, you know what I mean?
It's also like, I think the fact that he doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
He knows like what people care about, right? So he uses that against them. Yeah. It's still good. No, it doesn't trip like last time. Yeah. Not anymore. I learned how to fix that. That was so bad.
Just to like jump in quick, like I know he's not a fighter, but if you think about it, in that last scene with the like fairies and stuff, he has like his own gadgets, like the knife and the shoe thing. Even though he has like the dogs and stuff to help him, like he does kind of find a way to like get Batman in a vulnerable position in the fight, even though he's not a good fighter. And like, if Batman didn't have like the blades in his like forearms like that, if he didn't have that gadget, like who knows what could have happened. But I mean, like, even though he's not a good fighter, like it's the mind games and like just he's like smart, even though he's kind of an idiot at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, he isn't a fighter. Like, that scene that you're talking about, the party scene, right? Yeah. He's literally pushing his henchman into Batman. Like he's not fighting. He's like, oh fuck, okay, you go next. Like he's not doing anything.
What time are we at?
We're at 36. 36. Yeah. But yeah, like the guy is not a fighter, and I think what works a lot is he just improvises.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up the knife thing too, but because I have this like, well, it's probably not a theory. Probably a lot of people think about it, but like, there is no Joker without the Batman, right?
Yeah.
So if the Batman never like showed up on scene, like the Joker would have never been who he is.
Yeah. Well, like he even says that at like the end of the movie when Batman like catches him and like pulls him up, and then he's like, "You won't let me die." Because of like some moral compass, and like
cold,
and like I won't kill you because like you're just too much fun, and it's like,
dude, that's by heart.
I've seen it so many times. It might be in the other order, I'm not sure, but I just think like it's so true. Like Batman at like a point in that movie, like he wants to be with Rachel so bad that he's like willing to give it up, and like
so do we though, like the audience too, and that's why like Batman was such a good like audience like driver, you know? Let me finish this take, but he is such a good audience driver in a way, because he just like the Batman, we want him to like beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Go straight into it.
Even though you love the Joker, you do want Batman to like beat him.
Yeah.
And like, I just think it's very true that like they do need each other, and like if the Joker wasn't around, Batman probably does like hang up the suit and like try and become a normal person and just be Bruce Wayne, but like the Joker keeps him in the game, and like and then there's like the third movie, and he's like taken so much time off being Batman, but like Bane makes him come back. Like without the villain, there is no Batman. Like
his whole thing is not to stay, you know?
Yeah, he's not like Spider-Man. He's not just like catching like little like car thieves. Like he goes for the big fish and like tries to save his city. Like, but he's not like helping out like average Joes like at a gas station who are getting robbed. He's in it for only the big villains.
I know you have a girlfriend, so shout out Janessa. But
shout out.
But so Rachel in the first one and Rachel in the second one.
Yeah.
Rachel in Batman Begins and Rachel in The Dark Knight are not the same actor.
No, they're not.
Rachel in Batman Begins is way hotter than Rachel.
She's definitely better looking.
Yes. Yeah. Don't you think that would have made the movie a little bit better if they kept that actress?
I think Rachel's kind of like I don't know, because I like have a hard time remembering how good of an actress she was.
Yeah.
But I definitely think Rachel's the like worst actress in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think that scene where like they're tied to like the oil jugs and like super suspenseful, and like one of them's gonna die. Like that could have been super dramatic and been like a pretty quality love scene and like a not really romantic movie whatsoever. But I think she's just not the greatest actress, and she doesn't like sell the scene and make it as like suspenseful as it could have been, even though it's already crazy suspenseful.
Yo, the whole thing though, like with Rachel, I don't think it's I don't even think it's the actors. I think they're not even like, everything else is so major that like the romance is like the last thing I'm thinking about.
I also think you're like you're kind of rooting against it the whole time. Like, even though Harvey Dent is a good guy and like helps so much, I feel like they wrote the movie so like you kind of hate him the whole time. Like I like that's the way I see it. Maybe that's unpopular, but I just think like throughout the movie, like obviously you're like team Bruce Wayne, team Batman, and like you'd like him to get with Rachel, but I think like because Harvey Dent like is kind of a bit of a cocky asshole. Yeah. He like, and he has Rachel. It's like you kind of are rooting on his downfall, even though he's helping Batman. Yeah. And he like disrespects Batman. Like he like chirps Commissioner Gordon for like being like tight with Batman. And, like kind of mocks the whole thing. And it's like, did you not watch the first movie? Did you not see what he was doing? Like, I don't know. I think like you are kind of built to hate him a little bit, which makes it almost easier to like hate him when he turns into Two-Face, even though you're like shocked because he was such a like good character, I guess.
Yeah. No, just to go back to like that romance thing, you can tell Christian Bale is like a dog and like he gets hot women. So like I feel like he had better chemistry with the first actress in the first one than he did in the second one. I feel like the chemistry just wasn't there, and you just didn't feel like, you know what I mean? So like, if they kept the same, also like if they kept the same actress, it would have been like a story. You know what I mean? It would have been like, I don't know, just
also something about the way she says Bruce just doesn't work.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
She's just like, I don't know, her voice kind of just throws me off, I find. But anyways, not like.
But don't you also think like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are like two very different movies in a way?
Yeah, super
like,
different.
You know, like, to me, in my opinion, like The Dark Knight is what Christopher Nolan's like style looks like. Yeah. The Batman Begins felt very much like a Hollywood movie. Yeah. You know?
I agree.
Like if you look at how Batman Begins looks like, I don't know, it didn't have that like that Nolan pace, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it really did feel like Hollywood ish, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the actress thing, there's not a single point in this whole trilogy I really like. Oh, Rachel, you know?
Yeah, no, she's like
Yeah.
super minor
Yeah.
to the point where like if you think about it in The Dark Knight Rises,
Yeah.
you don't actually really think of her until Alfred brings up the fact that like the letter and like
yeah.
tells Bruce
The
like
letter. Oh, the letter was the only thing that like.
yeah,
That was
like
peak. Yeah.
yeah, like that's really the only reason she kind of like got brought up in the third movie.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point you're still kind of like I'd rather him just be with Anne Hathaway and like
And
be
that's
with
like
Catwoman.
my point too. Is chemistry with Anne Hathaway is so much better than with like Rachel, bro. In the second
Yeah,
one.
I mean Anne Hathaway is like I can't even really remember what Rachel's like the actress's name is. Like everyone knows who Anne Hathaway is. She's like in a lot. She's a good actress. But like yeah, I think he's just like because he's so like he has all those morals. He almost like needs a bit of like a bad girl to be with him. Like she kind of evens him out a bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's the thing with Catwoman in general. Like even in the newer Batman, the new one, like just Batman and Catwoman, like I don't know, they work perfectly. Right?
Yeah, no, they really do.
Especially when the like Catwoman is played properly, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's it's a bad it's a bad girl, you know.
Yeah, like
it's just like that balance, you know.
yeah, no, 100%.
I don't mean to like run your show or anything, but like, do you want to ask him that question that you like ask everyone at the end, and then I feel like we could like end it with like a conversation about like his favorite or like what he recommends.
You want me to base it? You
Well,
want me
I
to
feel
base
like
it?
he has more questions.
No, I have a few.
Yeah,
right? I was gonna say lines. Okay. Another thing why I think like Nolan is so good at this, right?
Yeah.
Is like the lines that he writes, right?
Yeah.
And I said this before on a podcast. Yeah, on yours. I said that the best line I have ever heard in cinema is from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And it was when Harvey Dent says,
Okay, fine. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, and
And
it like
I
it
thought-
means so much to the movie too.
it works in so many things,
Yeah.
like not just like in certain movies, right? And like
Yeah.
where you have like a good person become bad, right?
Mhm.
But like even in real life, man,
Yeah.
you know, like a lot of like these like celebrities like they when like they die young, you know,
Yeah.
everybody remembers them. Like, yo, Pop Smoke, he's never gonna have a bad reputation because
No.
his music was like
Yeah.
good.
Where
you know?
like you look at someone like Michael Jackson who like
And
he didn't even live that long, but like he was so big in like the 80s and then like in the like early 2000s
yeah.
like a lot of stuff started coming out about him like
Yeah.
being like not a great person and like yes, he's always going to have like is like he was the king of pop. He's always going to have like
Yeah.
a massive fan base, but like yeah, he lived a while and stuff started to come out about him where like if he died at like 25, 30, like I'm sure he probably
Yeah,
would
like
have
if he
stayed
died after he made like
Thriller and
Thriller,
stuff. Yeah,
crazy, yeah, or the Bad album. You know,
Yeah.
I know you're a big sports guy. We were talking about Don Cherry earlier.
Yeah.
Do you think like the way he got fired and stuff? Do you think like that ruins his? Because he's a Canadian legend, and I don't want to be like.
What he said wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it's just that like. Do you think like he would have?
I don't know. Personally, like I'm also not like a huge hockey fan anymore. I think like with roles like that, it has kind of gone downhill a bit. I'm not gonna like get in too much to why I think that, because like I don't want to be political in any way.
No, yeah.
But
yeah.
like I just think that yes, he was great, but at the same time, like Don Cherry's like shows were really good, and then like when he started getting older, like the show also kind of fell off a bit. So like yeah, I think he was fired too quickly, and it kind of sucks how like he was with Ron McClane forever and didn't really get any like support. But at the same time, like I don't really think he would have lasted much longer. Like he was getting pretty old and stuff, and he is a legend. But yeah, I think like in today's age, you can't really
Yeah.
say those type of things
Or
and get away with it.
to add to that. Sorry. But it's like that line also works for like yourself. Like,
yeah, 100%.
like with this podcast, like there's a genuine fear, like I may have a belief that I truly believe is like correct, you
Yeah.
know, and then for the masses it's really not, you know.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know, like you said, I don't want to be too political,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think I have pretty like who cares? I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, I'm like, you talk yourself into these situations, you know. Like you were talking about Michael Jackson, this Don Cherry dude, right? Like you do eventually turn yourself into that villain, you know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, it's a line that not only applies to that movie and, like, the
Mm-hmm.
kind of character development of Harvey Dent, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's something you can take literally and, like,
Bro,
live.
it works for the city. It works
Yeah.
for the city of Gotham in the movie. In a
Well,
way.
it even works for Batman if you think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
at the beginning,
Everybody-
like, everyone kind of is, like, all in on Batman, and then at the end, like, also just gonna talk about how great they started the movie and how great they ended it with, like,
Yeah.
Batman being like the vigilante, and there's like that sequence of like
Yeah.
great lines from Commissioner Gordon talking to his son about like he's like our hero but
He's
not
the
the one
Dark
we
Knight,
need
yeah.
right now, like
Oh,
he-
yeah.
he's our guardian, and like and
Yeah.
then it just ends with like he's the Dark Knight, and like
Yeah.
and like it's like talking about like we'll chase him and stuff, like
Mhm.
obviously like the order I just said is not accurate, but like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
such
yeah.
a good like sequence of lines that like really like make you want the next movie to come out like immediately.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't watch it when it first came out because I was like a little bit young, but yeah, I think like after that you're just like, oh my god, like I want to watch the third one right
Yeah,
away. Like
yeah.
I find it kind of happens to me with a lot of movies where there's like whether it's a trilogy or like there's two movies, like I watch the first one and then I'm like, oh, I might as well watch the next one.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like with the Dark Knight, you almost like watch the Dark Knight and you're just like, damn, like do I have enough time like
yeah.
to watch the third one? Like it just
Yeah.
does that to you. Like
Yeah.
it's just such a great movie, and the ending.
You want to take that time in to like, you know, actually like watch it and
Yeah,
you know,
because like
process it.
you don't want to like watch it and then you're like, oh, maybe in a week I'll watch the next one.
Yeah,
It's like something
yeah.
where like you watch it one day. If you have time, you maybe watch both. But like
Yeah, yeah.
realistically, like in the next 2 days, you're watching the third one. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to that line, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is another question I really wanted to bring up. It's been sitting here, and I remember watching the movie, and I was asking myself, like, okay, that thing, like, you know, we do create our own villains, right?
yeah.
Joker's creating chaos to make us like test our morals, right?
Yeah.
And the big situation, the fairy, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think like an example of that would look like today? Like, how would a fairy situation like that like turn out in our
Like in real life.
Yeah, in like real
if
life.
that
Yeah.
were to like be put into today's.
Yeah.
What would you do?
This is a really tough question, especially since like you hear in the movie that
Yeah.
basically if you detonate it,
Let's say it's you and like all your boys.
yeah, but
on one
dude,
ferry.
if you detonate, you blow yourself up. That's like the whole point of it.
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
like he's manipulating
Yeah, but
you
what if
to
you
see
like, you
how
don't know
evil
that,
you
yeah.
actually are, and he's kind of hoping like.
But you don't know. You don't know.
No, you don't know. And so obviously, like, yeah, you're probably thinking, like, it's me and my boys or, like, a bunch of crooks. Like, you're probably leaning towards blowing it up. But at the same time,
But
like,
you're taking lives away. You
yeah,
know what
no,
I mean?
like,
Yeah.
it's a huge decision to make. And, like, there's major repercussions. And, like, obviously, like, you know, I would say I believe in, like, second chances, like, whether that's cheesy or not. But, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like that I probably would in that panic be like, oh, we should really blow it up. We should really blow it up. But
Yeah.
like then I feel like guilt would start to creep in, and I would just be like, you know what, like maybe we just like hope and pray. And like
Yeah.
also with the Joker, like if I had to live through that whole movie, you know, like to predict the unpredictable. Like you see everything he does. It's like I think he says like in that scene with Harvey Dent in the hospital, he's like, if I tell everybody that I'm gonna blow up a specific hospital, nobody panics. Everyone's just like, I know exactly what to predict. But then he's like, if I don't say, I don't remember exactly what the line is, but he like says something about like how it's
if a bunch of troops get blown up in their tank, you know, in the war.
Is
like
that his
no
line?
one panics, and then but I just want to blow up one little hospital, and everyone loses their minds.
That was actually pretty good.
It wasn't that, but like
it
I
wasn't
remember
troops.
Everyone loses their minds.
Yeah, no, it wasn't troops. Though you're wrong on that. But yeah, I do think like in that situation, you do have to predict the unpredictable, and like I think, yeah, you have to like trust your morals and be like, they're not gonna hurt us. Because, like, realistically, like, what do they gain from that? Like, think about, like, the actual, like, crooks in that situation. Like, what do they gain? They blow up the other boat and then get brought right back to prison? Like...
Yeah, but it's like like, you're alive, you know?
Yeah,
you know what I
but,
mean?
like, to bring up something pretty real, like, a lot of people go to jail and commit suicide. Like, I'm sure a lot of those guys weren't, like... oh, I'd like really like value my like living situation right now. Like they're like in jail and like, okay, like yes, they get to like come back and like they're alive, but like you're just right back into like a maximum penitentiary. Like, it's
I have a theory about the ferry scene.
Yeah.
One of the prisoner, he throws it out the window, right?
Yeah, he says like, I'm going to do what you should have done the whole time. And, like, in that moment, you think he's going to pull the trigger. And he just, like, tosses it out the window and
which
sits
is even
down.
Crazier in a way.
Yeah,
like,
no, because he's, like, a big, scary guy. And you're just like, oh, he's definitely going to pull it. And he just, like, throws it, sits down, and acts like nothing happened. And, like, you can kind of tell he's just, like, praying that, like, the other boat's going to do the same thing.
But on the other boat, the guy takes it and then puts it back. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The guy didn't say anything, right? He just puts it back, right? He can't do it.
He, like, starts shaking.
Yeah.
He, like, grabs it. Because he's, like, I remember, like, I hate that guy. But I think, like, his voice is kind of funny. And he's like, we ought to vote on this.
Yeah.
Like, this is our lives at stake here. Yeah. Like, they've made their choices. And it's like, okay. And then he, like, finally everyone votes, like, yeah, blow it up. And, like, I think he's sitting down, and they're like, the like security or the captain. Yeah. He's like, all right, like who's gonna do it? And he like looks around and like tries to be this big guy and like stands up. He's like, oh, I'll do it. And like stands up and he like literally starts shaking and like almost sweating about like the fact that he's gonna do it. And then he like puts it back and like it almost looks like he like is embarrassed and like regrets it. But
which
like,
is what I'm gonna ask.
Like,
you
look at like the like prisoner who does it, and he like does it. He's all confident. And he's just like nobody deserves to die from this. Like where like the guy was sitting there and he's just like panicking. And of course, like the Joker has his own detonator because he's like everything has to go my way. Yeah. Like this is all a chaotic but structured plan that like. Either both of these boats have to blow up or one of them does. Yeah. And like it's just kind of the way he does it. But I don't know. I think it is like an interesting scene and funny how like the normal civilian tries to become like some hero and he just totally backs out of it.
But in a way, the prisoner, I think he knows. Well, I don't know. I'm assuming, but he knows what it is to take a life.
Yeah.
And what 100%. It takes away from you, right? So he doesn't want that for the captain, and he doesn't want for any of them to do that again. Yeah, you know, they've already been through this, right?
Yeah, and I think like he also kind of knows deep down that like it is really hard to take a life.
Yeah.
And he just has like that faith that like nobody on that other boat is gonna have like the like stomach to do it. Like, they're all gonna like chicken out or like I don't know.
But with the civilian, the guy who takes it and puts it back, which is honestly, I have a theory that I don't think it. A lot of people would probably say, "Oh, his morals came through, and he's not gonna do it." Right?
Yeah, yeah.
But like you said, he looked embarrassed. That's what
Yeah.
he looked like. So he still wanted to do that. Is that the case? Like,
I think
he still
so.
wanted
Like,
to do
I think
it?
he did want to do it, but like, yeah, taking life's hard, and he didn't have the stomach for it. And
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I guess he like kind of got embarrassed, but I think he was also like scared. Like, well, now that I didn't do it, like
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna do it to us in like the dying seconds, and I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is a good scene, and it is like a great way to kind of end like the Joker's
yeah.
involvement in it, even though like he's fully like the influence on Harvey
Yeah,
Dent. Like,
yeah.
so like it's not really over, but like the main Joker Batman
Mm-hmm.
aspect is done for the movie.
Quick fact though, and this is gonna be quick, but Nolan said if he knew he was gonna make a third movie, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have killed Harvey Dent, which
Wow.
is insane to me because I thought his death was like one of the most important things to continue that trilogy.
Yeah, and I actually think like the death did the movie good because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't actually think like a third movie with Harvey Dent as Two-Face would have been very exciting, and
he
I
doesn't
also
work
think
like Scarecrow and all.
no,
those,
and
yeah,
I also
yeah.
think like he kind of was like depending on like the Joker influence.
Yeah.
And like how would you I feel like if Harvey Dent's still alive, he's still probably doing bad things
Mm-hmm,
because he's the villain now. But like how does Bane come into place? And I think
Yeah.
like Bane is so good in like Tom Hardy does a good job as Bane, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
really exciting and like scary, like in a different way than the Joker is.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Harvey Dent plays no role. It would have just been like a side story of like
Yeah.
Harvey Dent like trying to like avenge Rachel, and like Batman would be like trying to like defend the city from Bane, and then there would be like a 15-minute scene of like Harvey Dent with like a mobster.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It just wouldn't be exciting.
Yeah. Last thing though, because we're almost out of time. This is a big question,
All right.
but is Heath Ledger the best Joker?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like it's not even
No, no,
close.
no, no. But here's the thing though. Have you seen the Joker, like the 2019 movie?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I've seen it.
Because in my opinion, bro, Joaquin Phoenix did such a good job in that, bro.
Yeah, he did do a good job, but Heath Ledger's
No, no,
better.
no, no, no. But
Like
yeah.
like you said, this is gonna be quick, but like I could argue about
It
this
is,
like
yeah.
for hours. Like it's not even close. Like Heath Ledger
Yeah.
is just so good as the Joker, and like Joaquin Phoenix didn't provide any. I get it. Like it wasn't built to be like a movie where like
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is like creating chaos in the city.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that happens at the end of the movie.
It's like a build up a little.
Yeah, it's a bit of a build up and more of an introduction, which the
Mhm.
Dark Knight doesn't have.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just not afraid of Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I would see him and I would laugh at him. Where like, if Heath Ledger's Joker came up to me and I was like sitting on the subway, like I would be like, okay, my life's over. Like, I don't know how it's gonna be over, but
Yeah.
it's over. Like, I don't know. I just think like.
I see what you mean. And I kind of agree, but in a way, like Joaquin Phoenix is like more creepy, while
He's just
Heath
more
Ledger
crazy,
is
I
like,
think.
yeah, no, there's crazy and creepy in a way, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix in a way was like more, like he was just a weird guy, you know.
He was more like psychotic,
And
I
that's why,
guess.
what's his name? Heath Ledger was able to like, take off his paint at certain times and be a bank robber, you know, put a mask on, right? Or
Well, he does have the paint.
yeah, he
on
does
in
have the
that
paint,
scene.
but he has a mask.
He
Or-
takes it off in the scene where they try and kill Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Like, you have to watch
But in
really
moments like those,
carefully.
yeah.
But like, if you watch like them pan down the line of like the like soldiers,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like the Joker's there with. Without the paint on.
But I think that's why he works and he does that, you know? Like
Mhm.
he's able to do that because he's a psycho, right?
Yeah, he is.
But
Totally.
with I don't know, they kind of humanized Joker in a way with
With the new
the new one.
Yeah, but like Do you
if you
really
think
think the Joker should be humanized? Like,
No,
like-
they created like real life situations
Yeah.
as to how a man can become like this.
Yeah.
You know, like funding of like healthcare. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
of these certain things, like led to him
yeah,
becoming
it,
such a guy
it
like
was
that.
much more of
Yeah.
like, even though it was like meant to be
Mhm.
in like the like 1900s.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think they did a good job of like making his issues be a lot more like real to today.
Yeah, yeah.
Like mental health and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But the one thing that you said that I'm gonna use to defend my own argument is Joker becomes the main character in the movie about Batman, where like the Joker was made for the Joker, and also like whether you like villains or not, like you are kind of like, I like this guy in the Dark Knight. Like you're like kind of like, this guy's sick. Even though he's crazy, you're like kind of cheering for him at the same time. Like you don't want the chaos to end.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's a lot on Heath Ledger just doing such a good job of the role and like just playing the Joker so well.
Yeah.
And, like he like really like went all in on that, like not
Yeah.
sleeping and stuff, like driving himself borderline insane to do a good job on that movie. And like I don't know, I'm just like not ready to say that I don't think there will ever be a Joker better than him. Like I'm confident.
You know
in
what? One thing I will say though, I think Heath Ledger's performance had an effect to every like superhero villain.
Yeah.
After him, like honestly, in a way, if you think about it, all the great like superhero villains that came after him, even like the new Joker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They use real life situation for us to be like, yeah, fuck that, you know? Yeah. People do have their morals changed. Yeah. Society is fucked. Yeah, so go Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they use that created a precedent for movies to use real life issues that we like hate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we tolerate,
Mm-hmm.
and they now every like superhero villain is like, you know, like Homelander. Oh my god, I can't wait for you to watch The Boys, man. It's you're gonna be so like hooked to him. But yeah, they create like real world issues, and you're like, yeah, why do we tolerate that? Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like you want to see that problem happen. You know?
For sure.
Because it's shit that we just walk around every day.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'm glad we kind of ended on that topic of Joker, man.
Also, just to bring up what Zach said earlier,
Yeah.
definitely you should watch Ted Lasso. Like,
No, dude, I'm watching Ted Lasso.
What season are you
I
on?
just no, I'm on the last one.
Oh,
I just
okay.
finished the episode with when they went to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the
so-
Red District and stuff.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah.
couple more left.
I will say,
Yeah.
like, if you ever do a Ted Lasso episode, like, that show is my TV version of
Yeah.
The Dark Knight. Like, I've watched season 1 and 2.
Did Zach put you onto that?
No.
No. Okay.
Like he probably put me on.
I put you onto that.
Yeah, well, like
I put everybody on. yeah.
And, like, now that, like, I'm, like, really into soccer,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though it's not, like, a crazy amount about soccer,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's, like, does a really good job of making soccer seem a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And like show how much like it means to the people.
Mm-hmm.
But like yeah, I think like as a like for something where it's like just clearly a feel good story.
Yeah.
Like it actually is like something where like I've gotten to the point where like on Tuesdays at like 9:00, because I think they release it earlier so that it's like out in Europe. Like I'll watch it Tuesday at 9.
Yeah.
Because like I'm just like hooked on it and I want to see like what's gonna happen.
But it's done now, huh?
I'm like gonna say that they will do something else with it. There's too much available to like add on to, even though they closed it off really well. I'm not gonna like spoil the ending for you, but like I watched it with my parents, and like my mom and dad watched a lot of TV, and they said like it was one of the best like finales they've ever seen, because it really closed off everything. Like every little storyline was like brought to a completion, yet I feel like they still left a lot to be done. And I don't really want to get into the characters that happened since you haven't seen it, but
So I'm gonna talk about it. Like, I'm gonna spoil it a bit.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay. Well, can you block your ears or something?
What do you mean block
Just
my
because, like,
ears?
I have something to say about that. So, if they would have made Rupert a good guy at the end,
Yeah.
I feel like it's over. Since they made him even worse than since he pushed the coach, and they made him like even worse than he was before, I feel like it's gonna continue.
Dude, I think he's dying. Yeah, like, dude, like, no, I like straight up, like, he was like struggling to move. Like, I think that was like
I'm
the,
intrigued as to what happens.
dude,
right?
I'm all I'm gonna say is I think.
You think Rupert dies, bro?
Well, yeah, I think if they did do a spin-off or whatever,
Yeah.
like, he would be dead. But I think, like, not to get into it, but I think, like, the Roy Kent story would be what they would build on, and Ted's
Beard.
I don't really think. I honestly think Beard doesn't really have like a
Did you
huge
like that
role.
they said his real name at the end? Ted was like, "Thank you."
I actually didn't notice.
I love that, bro. And then when the flight attendant's like, "What an asshole!"
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like, he's not like he's that asshole.
Yeah, no, he's just such a good guy. But yeah, no, it's really good. You definitely gotta like finish that ASAP.
Well, I saw the first season. Like, I remember watching the moment it came out because you know how it says it's like based off those commercials.
Yeah, it
those
totally
NBC commercials?
is.
I watched those commercials like a couple years ago, and like back in high school. But I saw the show exactly when it came out, and I watched every episode, and I don't know. I thought it was like the first season. I laughed my ass off. I don't remember.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it was.
I actually
super
think
funny,
like
yeah.
in terms of comedy, the show
Yeah.
actually fell off a bit.
Yeah,
But because I think Ted almost has like a personality. I know we're getting like crazy off topic.
yeah.
But I
No,
think
no,
Ted has
yeah.
like a personality where it's like he's like so like corny
Yeah.
that like you can't handle it for that long. Where like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
jokes kind of do run
we
stale.
do like get used to it though. Like
Yeah, you like get used to it where you're like, oh, it's just Ted. Like,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
like at the beginning, especially when he's like really starting to learn soccer.
Yeah.
And like, if you since you've seen the commercials, if you watch the commercials and then like watch parts of like the first season,
Mhm.
a lot of lines from the commercials like carry into
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, they do,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
line where he's like at Tottenham and he's like, oh, who's that guy? And they're like, oh, it's Gareth Bale. And they're like, oh, is he from England? And it's like, no, he's from
Yeah.
Wales. And it's like, is that another country? And he's like, yes and no. And he's
Yeah.
like, damn, how many countries are in this country? Like, that's like literally
Yeah.
from the commercials. And like, there's a lot of aspects from the commercials where like they use
Yeah.
the direct lines.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah, I do think like the first two seasons were both really good. I
Mhm.
think the first season was probably the best.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think the third season started off bad. Like, I'm going to be honest. After the start of the third season, I was like, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing if this show ended after the season. But
I agree. There was a lot of stuff.
halfway
yeah.
through, I really got like hooked on it. Like the like soccer started to pick
Mhm.
up, and like the character development was getting better. Like
Yeah.
I grew to like Roy Kent had been my favorite character from like season 1 to
Yeah.
like basically the end, and I
Yeah.
almost think Jamie Tartt's my new favorite character.
Yeah,
But-
he's funny. I'm
but
hearing
yeah.
like I'm gonna see Pep soon, in the show. I'm
Yeah,
hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pep, but yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
it
it was a
was
quick
cool that
cameo.
he did the show.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, it was cool. But,
yeah. I always ask this, towards the end.
Yeah.
What other movie apart from the Dark Knight would you recommend?
Oh, that's really tough. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a lot of like basic ones.
Not the gentleman.
Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for bringing that up. Yeah, The Gentleman is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of a story, but like,
Yeah.
so me and my buddies went and we saw it in theaters,
Oh, okay.
and we were all like,
Yeah.
it was during COVID, so it was like not a lot to do. So we were
Yeah.
going to the movie theaters a lot.
Yeah,
to just,
yeah.
like kill time, see each other.
Oh, they just
and-
replayed that?
What?
They just replayed that, or did that come out during
No,
COVID?
no, no. This was during COVID.
That came out during COVID?
Yeah, man. Dude, like,
Dude.
dude, I saw that like the first week it came out.
What the hell? That came out during COVID?
Yeah, yeah. So like, literally, me and my buddies meet up like every week. We go to the
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
And like, I didn't even watch the trailer. I
Yeah,
sat
yeah.
in my seat, literally saying to the boys, I was like, "Hey guys, I have no idea what this is about."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're like, "Honestly, we don't really either. Like, we saw the trailer, it looked cool, but like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully it's good." Matthew McConaughey is one of my favorite actors,
Mhm.
so I was just like excited for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched it. I'm no joke. I was like, that might have been like a top 5 movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I told my parents about it, and they were like, "Hey, we'll go see it like next week." Week after, I was like, "I'll come with you guys."
Yeah.
I went with my parents
Yeah.
and watched it. It's kind of like that and The Dark Knight that I watched the most.
Mhm.
It's just so good. Like, story is great. It's another
Yeah.
one of those movies where it's just like what you think is happening isn't really happening. And like another movie where like you do have to be dialed in. Like, I've showed it to so many people, and like, you know, I find like a lot of people will ask a lot of questions when you're showing them a movie, like just
Yeah.
to like get more details. And I find like with that movie specifically, I'm just like, just watch. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to say anything that like
Yeah.
spoils it, because like although it's good to rewatch, like nothing beats that first time that I like.
Yeah,
The first 2
yeah.
times, because like, you know, the first time you watch a movie, you always miss some details.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
like the first 2 times, I was just like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just so good. It's so action packed. The acting's great. It's a stacked cast too. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think that's probably the movie that I would bring up the most. But obviously, like classics like Shawshank, like you have to watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think
First
there's a lot of
episode, yeah.
movies that I could say, but yeah, if I'm gonna like try and sell one, I would choose The Gentleman. It's on Netflix, easy to watch. It's
yeah.
actually shorter than it seems, which sounds bad, because you're like, oh, like it's like
No, it just
not
means
exciting.
like you, yeah.
But
like,
it's just like so much happens in such a short time that you're like, oh, there's no way it's like not a 2.5 hour movie. And I
Yeah.
think it's like under 2, I want to say. But
They even go into like the background too, of like the like I don't know his name, Matthew McConaughey's character.
yeah,
Like they show like flashbacks of him.
yeah,
in that
school
movie, and it's
stuff.
like not that long of a movie.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean? Like they go through so much. Like they do really it all in that
Charlie
movie.
Hunnam's also really good in that movie.
The cast is like
Loaded.
just loaded.
Yeah.
director-
Also, the
director's good,
scene with not the scene, but the song that Bugsy Malone made for that movie.
Oh,
is
Great
fire.
fucking soundtracks. in
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah, it's so good. I remember like after that movie, me and my buddies got in the car and we like downloaded Boxes of Bush and like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like rapping it in the car. Such a good song. But yeah, it's just.
but
good
yeah,
movie.
Guy Ritchie is a really good director, man.
Yeah,
His new movie, like The Covenant, I saw it because a buddy of mine told me about it,
yeah.
and it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. He's just such a good director. Like, I don't know. He just makes very long scenes feel like really like good in a way. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
you'll see in The Covenant. Like, I don't know if you do watch it, but there's scenes that like kind of drag, but in a way it kind of like fits. You know.
Yeah. I think like with The Gentleman.
Yeah.
Too, like, I don't know. I kind of like lost my train of thought right there, but it's just
Yeah.
like really like you're like hooked on it, and there's like so many characters involved that
Yeah.
like Matthew McConaughey is without a doubt the main character, but like there's so many side stories and so many like they really like let you get to know each character,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like what they're all about and what they're involved in,
Yeah.
like really really fast, that like it just like makes you feel like there's been like more than one movie.
Yeah.
But I did see, I mean, obviously I like look this up a lot because I love it, but like they didn't rule out making a second one, and like the way they ended the first one, it left room for a sequel.
I want to say the guy says like there's got to be a sequel. Like when he's like a news reporter or whatever. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's like that's what the sequel's for or something like that. Like
yeah. I think
Not gonna lie, a confession. I've only seen that movie once,
you should watch it.
and that was like
I've seen it like 5 times. The first time you showed it to me, I was like, "That's not that good of a movie," and then I rewatched it like 5 times.
Yeah,
I'll watch it this
I
month. I'll watch
honestly
it this
want to.
month.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna like see if I can find it in my text with Zach. Oh, it's
find
not
what?
there.
Find what?
Because he literally texted me. I was like, dude, you have to watch this movie. You have to watch it. It's so good. He had the audacity to text me right after he watched it and was like, it's not that good, man. And I was like, you're crazy. Watch it again.
Yeah.
And then, like, I might have watched it with you, or he watched it for a second time without me. And then he was like, never mind, man. It's really good.
It was so good I showed my mom. That's how good it was.
Yeah. Like, I think
Yeah.
it is one of those movies where it's like, I don't know, maybe there's some dead points in the movie, but, like, it is just such a good, like, movie in general. Like, I think I've showed every person who's, like, asked, oh, like, you want to watch a movie? I'm like, yeah, like, let's watch The Gentleman. Like, it's always on my list on Netflix. It's It's not a classic, but it's like a classic for me.
And I know you said Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
but quickly, what other show would you recommend? Like right now, what are you watching? Because Ted
Honestly,
Lasso's done.
I just
Ted
finished
Lasso's
Ted
done.
Lasso. It kind of like did something to me emotionally. So I don't know. I think like although it's a corny show, like it's what I've been hooked on. I have this really bad habit of like rewatching shows. I watch a lot of sitcoms, so like I'm not gonna recommend any because like,
bro, you know what? I always have a sitcom to watch.
Yeah, no,
you know?
They're just so easy to like turn on. I will say, obviously, a basic one, and probably most people
Our favorite.
No,
You're not saying The Office?
No, I'm not saying The Office. What I was gonna say was like, I know like everyone's probably seen it, but like I didn't give it a chance for the longest time, and now it's like one of my favorite shows, and it's a serious one. Is Game of Thrones.
Bro, I'm starting to watch it right now.
It's so good.
Wait, you're just starting it, right?
No, I finished it.
You finished
My
it?
girlfriend was like crazy into it, and she
Dude, fuck you, man.
The Office is a good shout. Office is a good shout.
Literally picked his girlfriend over me, like right there, bro. That's what he did.
But no, like the Game of Thrones was something where like at the start I was like, oh, it's not that good, and then like the way they just like let like main characters aren't a thing in that show. Like there is main characters, but like they have no problem killing off main characters, and like
there's main characters in like multiple storylines.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many storylines, so much like action that like I remember it was towards the end of the school year last year. Like I was on like season 6 and like every night I'd watch like 6 episodes just to like try and finish it. And it's just a really good show, and it's a show that I was like, oh, it's nerdy, like I'm not gonna be into it, and like I ended up watching it, and I like want to rewatch.
I'm not far though. I'm not far into it.
Yeah, no, I won't get into like too much details.
but
like I do think it's a TV show.
Yeah.
That like if you're looking for like something like action oriented or like something with a serious storyline, like I would recommend giving it a watch.
You can't really pause too much too because I just finished where Joffrey just died.
Oh damn!
You're I'm just
that's
there.
Not
I'm just
that
there.
early, bro. Like
I know it's not that early, but I just finished
a lot more to come,
bro. Oh, I probably just spoiled it for a lot of people, but I don't know, whatever.
Everyone hates Joffrey anyway.
But I know some people die in this show. Like I knew he was gonna die at a certain point. I just didn't know how.
Okay, but like here's a like thing is when you first started watching the show, did you not think that like Ned Stark was the main character?
Defo. I did.
And he dies in season 1.
Bro. Like I was so confused. I was like, oh my god, like he's actually gonna die. He's actually gonna die. What's going on? That's when I knew like, okay, there's multiple. Like they really don't care. They're gonna
I'm telling you, like I don't know like who your favorite character is, but just like don't get attached.
You know what? I'll say this. I said it to Alex too because he recommended the show to me, right?
Yeah.
And when the mom Stark dies at the same time as like Rob and his wife, his pregnant wife.
The red wedding.
Bro, when they close the doors, I was like, oh wait, the scene is not over. Like they're still going. Cut to the next scene. It's good. It's happy moments. It's happy vibes. Cut to the next scene. Boom. They kill everybody. when I say I like shouted, I was like, "What the fuck?" When
Yeah.
I shouted, middle of the night, bro.
I remember it when I watched that episode.
Bro, I lost my
I
mind.
turned it off for the rest of the night.
I
I
was
said
so
I'm done.
mad.
I need a day break.
And
I-
thinking that was not even the season finale. It was
Nah.
like the episode before the season. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, like
There's still an episode
you'll
left.
literally start a new season and like 2
Yeah.
episodes in, the person that was the main focus for like
Yeah.
the first episode is
Yeah.
like, oh, like 2 scenes into episode
Yeah.
2 is just like dead. Like just like
Oh,
gets slaughtered. And
You-
it's
you
like
know what was my thing though
What?
with this? It was that because Ned Stark died and they were all separated.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was looking I was looking forward for the kids to finally see their mom. They just she just died.
so close to them too. Like
so close.
like what
Oh
wasn't
my
Arya
God.
like literally like going in to like find her and then the doors
Yeah.
close? Yeah.
bro, no, I genuinely couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It does that.
I couldn't
like
believe
that's
it.
what I'm saying is like, oh, like I don't think Zach's even watched the first episode, but like it is
Yeah.
a type of show where if you started it and like gave it a serious chance, you would like literally have those reactions where it's
Yeah.
like, I can't put this down. Like
Yeah.
I can't stop. Like it's just such a good show, and there's like, it's like just suspense on suspense, and
Yeah.
like it's unpredictable. Like there's main characters, but like, is there? Because like every season there's a new like group
Yeah,
that
there's a
gets
new- yeah.
introduced, and like the main characters from like the season before are like dead.
That's what I heard about it, is like it's a whole like world, and it's about like the world. It's not about
Yeah.
like any like group of people. It's about like the whole like world.
Also, the intro is crazy. Intro goes crazy.
One downfall I will say though is that you have to keep up with so much in a way. Like you kind of have to like remember certain things.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's not a show that you can like watch for like a week and then like take a month off. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like if
which
you don't
I normally
remember,
do. I normally do. I
you
normally like
can't
to take
do
a
that.
break after like a season, and I can't because I started to forget. You know?
if you
Yeah.
do that like with that show, you might as well like
Yeah,
rewatch
exactly.
it all.
Yeah.
Because like you do have to be like so caught up with what's happening. That's why I want to rewatch it, because I
Yeah.
did that. I took a break
Watch the House of
between.
Dragon. Apparently that's good too.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. I
Yeah.
like. It's
No?
a long story, but
Yeah.
like I'm gonna watch it. But I think like with Game of Thrones, I took a break between, I want to say, season 2 and season 3 for a while.
Yeah.
I would really like to like rewatch it and like try and finish it like
Yeah.
all in one, because I do think it'll make the like show and
Mm-hmm.
the experience better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. Gotta
Yeah.
watch it.
But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Huh?
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
You know, every episode I tell myself I'm not gonna hit an hour mark.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hit an hour mark. Every episode. Every episode.
What was the longest?
This is 126. No, Philo's was like 135.
So is this the second longest?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
every episode I tell myself I'm not gonna hit the 1 hour mark, and then I eventually do. You
It's
know?
hard,
Yeah.
especially with like a movie like The Dark Knight, though.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
obviously you're gonna get off topic,
Yeah, yeah.
but like with a movie like The Dark Knight, like you can't.
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
You can talk about it for like 10 minutes, but if you really want to like do like an analysis of it, like
Yeah.
it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, very fun, man. So yeah, this is like coming out like Tuesday, I think.
All right, pal.
But yeah, man. Thank you for watching, guys.
Huh. Thank you.
Like, subscribe. See ya.
Yeah.